All right, today we have a great friend, Rick Weldy. I would say there's probably no individual that's in this room today that's had influence on the actual structures here at Victory Church more than Rick has. And so Rick's going to tell us a little bit about the history of the buildings that we are so familiar with. Rick, kind of give us an idea where it all began for you here at Victory Church in building the structures here.
Yeah, so in 89 and 90, the Family Life Center was being constructed, and back then I was a mason by trade, and so I came to this building needing work and started with Gerald Peavy and Peavy Masonry laying block on the very first building. Then I went on the road from there working for a large general contractor and advanced up through the ranks and become superintendent and / project manager of the projects. And in 98 I came back to this building, was starting and started constructing this building.
And so with this building, what we're saying, this building, the sanctuary building, I think you have shared with me before some things that had never been done even in our own country, and specifically with the walls and the foundation. So walk me through what that looked like when you were building the sanctuary building.
Yeah, so for the inner core of this building is tilt panel construction. And at the time, it was the largest tilt panel construction, tilt panels in the nation. And so it set records. And then the outer core of the building is block construction.
And so, and those are the walls that we see that we're walking through the hallways on any given Sunday and Wednesday. But below that is the foundation. What's the significance of, when you talk about construction, the foundation that the walls in the building actually sit on?
Yeah, so the foundations are deep and wide. They have a very large rebar in them, large anchor bolts. They have to be able to support the weight as well as the uplift of any storm pressures that might be put on the wall. The balcony creates a force on the foundation that it has to be able to support our balconies. So there is a lot of significance put to the foundation of this building.
So did you guys just kind of show up and start digging what I would say a trench is, or how did you know where to begin to say, well, this is where the first foundation needs to go, the first trench, footer, I guess?
Yeah, so as builders, we have to be good at following directions. And so we have a set of plans, and prior to ever mobilizing to a site, we spend a lot of time proactively going through the plans, making sure that everything works out dimensionally, and identify any potential problems that might exist, correct those, and then when we get out onto the site and actually start, we have already developed a plan and logistically how we're going to go about approaching the job.
And so it's probably safe to say that it's important to follow the blueprint or the plans when you're constructing a building. And what happens when you have those plans in front of you and things just aren't meshing as far as the actual construction? What do you have to do? How do you pivot to bring everything back into alignment?
So, well, it's important to understand the drawings in their totality. So the end result is what you're looking for. And so whenever there is something that doesn't mesh like that, multiple people need to be involved. Obviously, the people who do the work, and then the original designers have to be involved. And then the goal is to get to that end result. And so usually the solution will reveal itself on what has to be done so that you can get to that end result that you're looking for.
And I would have to say that you probably are learning from your past experiences as well, from job site to job site, to be able to kind of fine-tune any mistakes or any errors that may arise because of your experiences.
All the time. It's a constant learning process. Experience comes from hardships. I mean, if everything went easy, we really wouldn't learn anything, right? So when you have obstacles and you overcome them, you remember them, and that's what prepares you for finding those situations in the future.
So you primarily were responsible for the construction of the Family Life Center, the sanctuary building, our chapel, along with all of the portables as well. A lot of what we pass by every day, you are instrumental in making this happen here on our campus. My question is, with all of the projects and your giftedness, what's the difference between a good contractor and a great contractor?
Well, I think the great contractor is going to be proactive in his approach. So, he's going to take the drawings, develop a plan. He's going to make sure that all the beams and things meet up and they're the proper dimensions and lengths, so that when you're constructing the building, that everything goes through a nice flow, that there's no interruption in work to correct problems, and stay on the critical path of the schedule so that you can get to the end result in the proper amount of time.
So here's an interesting thought that our nation is getting ready to celebrate 250 years as a country. When you look at this building, what's the likelihood, with proper care and maintenance, that 100 years from now, is it possible for this structure to still be here?
So my background is structural. That's where I started in construction, is the structural side of things. And most people get to enjoy the pretty part of the building, the paint, the looks, the outside appearance. I like the skeleton, the bones, and I think that's what makes a structure last, and then maintenance-friendly construction. This building in particular is very well built. It has a great skeleton, the bones, the foundation, the walls. It'll withstand anything. If there's a storm and I'm seeking shelter, I'm coming here.
So the theme for today is to build a life that matters, one that will last, a legacy that we are building as men, establishing our families to be followers of Christ, putting Christ first in the businesses that we're building, the relationships that we're building. Some of the same concepts when you talk about following the plans and the blueprint that's already been laid out for us in God's Word. How important has it been for you now as a follower of Christ to say, I've got the plans right in front of me. Let me just follow the plan that God designed for my life.
Yeah, Christ is definitely the firm foundation, and I love the promises that it's not only for you, but for your children and your children's children. And my own family is playing that out. When I see my kids up on stage singing and worship, and my grandchildren are very involved in church, I sit back in awe and just think, God, I'm not worthy to witness such things, and it is such an honor to see that playing out. And now I was a first generation Christian. Now my grandchildren, that's all they think about, all they talk about, and they're young. They're 8, 10 years old, and I think I can't wait to see what the future holds for them.
Well, Rick, thank you so much for taking time to be with us and to share just some basics of what it was like to be a part of building the structures here at Victory Church. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your friendship. Most importantly, thank you for being a follower of Christ and setting the example for your family.
Thank you.